A very marvelous good morning to each one of you. Today's date is 25th July and the day is Saturday. Today's thought is talk less and listen more.
Good morning children, welcome to the Shivaji Group of Institution online classes. Kids, I am your Hindi teacher. Today I am going to take Hindi language class. बच्चों, पिछली कक्षा में मैंने आपको हिंदी में शब्द विचार के विषय में पढ़ाया था, उसके भेद बताए थे और उससे संबंधित अभ्यास कार्य पुस्तक में कराए थे और मैंने आपको कॉपी में शब्द विचार के विषय में एक भेद भी कराया था। प्रयोग के आधार पर शब्द भेद मैंने कॉपी में आपको उत्पत्ति के आधार पर शब्द भेद कॉपी में कराए थे। आज मैं आपको दूसरा भेद रचना के आधार पर शब्द भेद कॉपी में कराने जा रही हूँ। तो सभी बच्चे अपनी हिंदी लैंग्वेज नोटबुक निकालेंगे और उसी के आगे करना शुरू करेंगे। पहला मैंने कराया था उत्पत्ति के आधार पर शब्द भेद। आज मैं आपको दूसरा भेद रचना के आधार पर शब्द भेद कराने जा रही हूँ। तो चलिए करना शुरू करते हैं। रचना के आधार पर शब्द भेद। रचना के आधार पर शब्दों के प्रमुख तीन भेद होते हैं। रचना के आधार पर कितने भेद होते हैं? तीन भेद होते हैं। जो मैंने पिछली कक्षा में आपको कराया था उत्पत्ति के आधार पर, उसमें कितने भेद थे? चार भेद। कौन कौन से थे? तत्सम शब्द, तद्भव शब्द, देशज शब्द, विदेशी शब्द। आज मैं आपको कराने जा रही हूँ रचना के आधार पर शब्द भेद। उनके तीन प्रमुख भेद है, रूढ़ शब्द, यौगिक शब्द, योग रूढ़ शब्द। तो चलिए करना शुरू करते हैं। का है रूढ़ शब्द? जिन शब्दों के खंड नहीं किए जा सकते तथा जो एक ही अर्थ में रूढ़ हो गए हैं उन्हें रूढ़ या मूल शब्द कहा जाता है। पहला क्या है? का जिन शब्दों के खंड नहीं किए जा सकते तथा जो एक ही अर्थ में रूढ़ हो गए हैं उन्हें रूढ़ या मूल शब्द कहा जाता है। जैसे सेब, कमल आदि। बच्चों, सेब और कमल दो शब्द हैं, इनको हम अलग अलग करेंगे तो इनका कोई अर्थ नहीं निकलेगा, इसलिए ये कौन से शब्द हैं? रूढ़ शब्द। जिन शब्दों के खंड नहीं किए जा सकते तो वो रूढ़ शब्द कहलाते हैं। तो इनका अर्थ इनको हम खंड में नहीं कर सकते, तो इसलिए ये कौन से शब्द है? रूढ़ शब्द। दूसरा है खा, यौगिक शब्द। जो शब्द एक से अधिक सार्थक शब्दों के मेल से बने हों यौगिक शब्द कहलाते हैं। यौगिक शब्द क्या है? जो शब्द एक से अधिक सार्थक शब्दों के मेल से बने हों यौगिक शब्द कहलाते हैं। जैसे गुणवान। अब इसमें दो शब्द मिले हुए हैं, गुड़ प्लस वान। गुड़ प्लस वान दो शब्दों से मिलकर बने हैं, तो और इन दोनों का अर्थ भी हो तो ये कौन से शब्द कहलाएंगे? यौगिक शब्द। जैसे पुस्तकालय, पुस्तक प्लस आलय, इन दोनों का अर्थ होता है, तो ये दोनों मिलकर क्या बन गए हैं? ये क्या है? यौगिक शब्द। तो जो शब्द एक से अधिक सार्थक शब्दों के मेल से बने हों यौगिक शब्द कहलाते हैं। तीसरा है ग, योग रूढ़ शब्द। ऐसे शब्द जब दो या दो से अधिक शब्दों या शब्दांशों के योग से बनते हैं परंतु अर्थ की दृष्टि से सामान्य अर्थ को न प्रकट कर किसी विशेष अर्थ को प्रकट करते हैं, योग रूढ़ शब्द कहलाते हैं। एक बार फिर से देखते हैं। ऐसे शब्द जो दो या दो से अधिक शब्दों या शब्दांशों के योग से बनते हैं परंतु अर्थ की दृष्टि से सामान्य अर्थ को न प्रकट कर किसी विशेष अर्थ को प्रकट करते हैं, योग रूढ़ शब्द कहलाते हैं। जैसे पंकज, पंक प्लस ज यानी कि कमल के लिए। इन दोनों को अलग तो करते हैं लेकिन इनका समान अर्थ ना प्रकट करके एक विशेष अर्थ प्रकट करे, वो योग रूढ़ शब्द कहलाते हैं। दूसरा है पीतांबर, मतलब पीत प्लस अंबर, जिनके पीले कपड़े, तो यानी विष्णु के लिए। ये किसके लिए है पीतांबर? विष्णु के लिए, मतलब दूसरे के लिए दूसरा अर्थ इसका क्या है? विष्णु के लिए। एक बार फिर से देखते हैं। नंबर 2, रचना के आधार पर शब्द भेद। रचना के आधार पर शब्दों के तीन प्रमुख भेद हैं। का रूढ़ शब्द, जिन शब्दों के खंड नहीं किए जा सकते हैं तथा जो एक ही अर्थ में रूढ़ हो गए हैं उन्हें रूढ़ या मूल शब्द कहा जाता है। जैसे कि सेब, कमल आदि। मतलब सेब, कमल को हम लोग उनके खंड नहीं कर सकते हैं, इसलिए ये कौन से शब्द है? रूढ़ शब्द है। खा है यौगिक शब्द। जो शब्द एक से अधिक सार्थक शब्दों के मेल से बने हों यौगिक शब्द कहलाते हैं। जो मतलब जो शब्द एक से अधिक सार्थक शब्दों के मेल से, मतलब दो शब्दों से मिलते हैं और दोनों का अर्थ होना चाहिए। जैसे कि गुणवान, गुण प्लस वान, दोनों का अर्थ होता है और दोनों मिलकर एक क्या बन गए? यौगिक शब्द। पुस्तकालय, दोनों का अर्थ है पुस्तक प्लस आलय, दोनों को मिलाकर कौन सा शब्द बन गया? यौगिक शब्द। गा है योग रूढ़ शब्द। ऐसे शब्द जब दो या दो से अधिक शब्दों या शब्दांशों के योग से बनते हैं परंतु अर्थ की दृष्टि से सामान्य अर्थ को न प्रकट कर किसी विशेष अर्थ को प्रकट करते हैं, योग रूढ़ शब्द कहलाते हैं। जैसे कि पंकज, पंकज का पंख प्लस ज यानी कि कमल के लिए, इसका विशेष अर्थ क्या निकलता है? कमल के लिए। पीतांबर, पीत प्लस अंबर, पीत पीला जिसका अंबर कपड़ा, तो क्या होगा इसका? विष्णु के लिए। इसका विशेष अर्थ क्या निकल रहा है? विष्णु के लिए। इसी तरह से बच्चों आज मैंने आपको रचना के आधार पर शब्द भेद करा दिए हैं, आगे के मैं आपको अगली कक्षा में कराऊंगी। धन्यवाद, आपका दिन शुभ हो।
A very good morning to the students and everyone those who are watching this video. I am a teacher from Shivaji Group of Institutions and I welcome you all in the online classes. This is your second period and I am going to start a new chapter, that is chapter number 4, possessive nouns from your English language. We have completed 3 chapters, so now it's time for chapter number 4, that is possessive nouns. So students, open your work at page number 16. Okay? First of all, we all know that what are nouns. Noun, it is defined as the name of person, animal, place or thing. Okay? Person, place, animal or thing. Okay? So, then come to the possessive nouns. Possessive nouns, in this type of nouns, we use apostrophe. Okay? This is the common thing I am telling you, that we use apostrophe in the possessive noun sentences. So, let's know the definition of possessive nouns. Possessive nouns refers to the belongings or words in which we use office shopping. Okay? Possessive nouns refers to the belongings or words in which we use apostrophe. And what's the sign of apostrophe? Sign of apostrophe is this. Okay? So, the possessive noun, the rules for using possessive noun in singular and plural forms are different. Okay? In the singular, we use possessive noun before s. Just like you have to write possessive noun, so Reena is a noun, and this one is the singular noun. So we use Reena's house. Okay, the apostrophe before S in the singular noun. Okay, so let's check your book. We have already learned that possessive nouns refers to the belongings by using an apostrophe. Okay, in case of singular nouns, we use apostrophe before S. For example, this is Ram's pen. Okay, Ram is also singular, so we use S before. So we use apostrophe before S, and here we use apostrophe before S with Reena just because Reena is also singular noun. Okay, then come to the plural noun. In case of plural, in the next sentence, in case of plural, in case of plural nouns, we use apostrophe at the end then third is ends with S. Okay, look at your book. In the case of plural nouns, we use apostrophe at the end if the word ends with S. So, example, schools, girls. Okay. There are some more examples in your book: girls, hostel, boys, school. Just like you have to write girls' hostel. Okay. Girls. This one is a plural. Okay. When we are changing girl into girls. So girls is a plural form. So we use apostrophe after S. Girls' hostel. Boys' school. Okay. These are some words of plural noun. Girls' hostel, boys' school, parents' office, etc. And the third situation is we use apostrophe at the end to avoid the sound as even if noun is singular. Okay. Just like when any name ends with S, James. Okay. So we use apostrophe just like this one is the singular noun, and in this situation you have to use apostrophe after S to avoid this S. Okay. So just note down the sentence. We use apostrophe at the end to avoid sound as if noun is singular. Just like James House. To avoid this S, sound S, we use apostrophe after this S. Okay? The next, the more examples are Subhas School, Thomas Garden. Okay? And the last statement, last situation is nouns which are plural and end with N, we use apostrophe before S. Okay? Nouns which are plural, so end with N, so we use apostrophe before S. If nouns are plural, ends with N, so we use apostrophe before S, just like children. Children is a plural word and it ends with N. Okay, so we use apostrophe before S. Children's garden. Okay, and some more examples can go women's clothes, okay, children's park, etc. So students, write down your homework. Learn rules of using possessive nouns. Okay, you have to learn the rules of the possessive nouns. Okay, students, thank you so much and have a great day.
Good morning, students. This is your teacher from Shivaji Group of Institutions. Here welcome you all in the online classes. Students, this is the fifth period of history of class 5. So before start today's class, let's recall what we have learned in the last classes. In the last classes, we had read this chapter, that is movements of the earth, and we have started the written work of this chapter, and we have done some of the exercise of this chapter like hard words, missing letters, very short answers, and short answers. Today we will do the last exercise of this chapter, that is long answers. So for that, students, take out your notebook, open a fresh page after short answers. And students, one more thing, don't mention lesson number or lesson name because it's not a new chapter, we are continuing our previous chapter. So just mention the heading of our next exercise. Just long answers. So, question number 1 is, why does Australia experience winter in June? The answer is, when the North Pole is tilted, then the North Pole is tilted towards, when the North Pole is tilted towards the sun, South Pole is tilted. The South Pole is tilted away from the sun. Away from the sun at this time, northern hemisphere experience summer and the southern hemisphere experience winter. Australia is situated in Australia is situated in southern hemisphere that's why it experience winter in June. So the question is, why does Australia experience winter in June? And the answer is, so in the chapter I have explained the movement of the earth, that when the north pole is tilted towards the sun, the south pole is tilted away from the sun, and this time northern hemisphere experience summer season because it gets longer hours of sunlight, and southern hemisphere experience winter because it does not get sunlight. That's why it experience winter. And Australia is a country which is situated in southern hemisphere. That's why Australia is situated in southern hemisphere. That's why it experience winter in June. Now this answer is finished. Now we'll do question 2. Question 2 is, the sun rises and sets at least 2 hours earlier in Arunachal Pradesh than Mumbai. Explain. Answer is, the sun rises and sets. The sun rises and sets at least 2 hours earlier in Arunachal Pradesh than Mumbai. The longitude gap between the longitude gap between Arunachal Pradesh and Mumbai is near about 30 degree since Arunachal Pradesh is in the east, So the sun rises earlier here. So the sun rises earlier here. So the sun rises earlier here compared to Mumbai. The Indian Standard Time is taken. The Indian Standard Time is taken from the time of the standard meridian, from the time of standard meridian of India, standard meridian of India. Hence the watches show, hence the watches show the same time in both the places. So, what is the question? The question is, the sun rises and sets at least 2 hours earlier in Arunachal Pradesh than Mumbai. Explain. And the answer is, the sun rises and sets at least 2 hours earlier in Arunachal Pradesh than Mumbai. The longitude gap between Arunachal Pradesh and Mumbai is near about 30 degree since Arunachal Pradesh is in the east. So, the sun rises earlier here compared to Mumbai. The Indian Standard Time is taken from the time of the standard meridian of India. Hence, the watches show the same time in both the places. Students, now all the exercise of this chapters are finished. This chapter is complete now. Now, what are today's homework? Today's homework is learn 2 short answers of lesson 2, the map. This is your today's homework. You have to learn 2 short answers of lesson 2, the map. So students, that's all for today. Thank you for attending this class. Now we will meet in our next class.
dear students. I welcome you all in our online classes. I am your maths teacher from Shivaji Group of Institution. Student, as you know that this is your fourth period, that is of maths. So student, as you know that we are in chapter 3rd. Okay, so chapter 3rd. And what is the name of our chapter 3rd? Our chapter 3rd's name is Operations on large numbers. Okay, so there is not a space, so I am going to write from here. Operations on large numbers. So student, as you know that in our studies class we have finished exercise 3C where questions was of word problem. So I also gave you to solve exercise 3C completely in your homework. So student, if you have solved all the questions of exercise 3C, I don't think that you have any problem to solve any question of exercise 3C. But I am going to take here a short review of exercise 3C to be confirming that really you don't have any problem inside it. Okay, so I will solve here the last question which is in exercise 3C, that is question number 8, is in an election this will be in 3 candidates. 3 candidates. Okay. So student, question is in an election 3 candidates obtained 63,56,414, 29,05,626 and 5,10,432 votes. How many votes in all were cast for the 3 candidates? In all means total. In all means total. And I want to tell you that what is the mean of word total? That is always addition. Okay. The mean of total in all means total, and the mean of total, that is addition. Okay. So student, start to solve. First of all, first candidate and what is the number? 6356414. Now second candidate, which is 2905626, and the third is 5, 10, 4, 3. Now we are talking about all 3 candidates. Votes of all 3 candidates. So student, I told you that what you will do here, you will find the sum of these 3 numbers 1 4 2 4 0 6 7 6 7 5 2 9 8 1. Start subtracting. I told you that always if you are doing addition or subtraction, you have to start from the right side with 1. So in one's position you can see their number 2 and 1, and we are going to subtract. Okay, 2 and 1, you will get your 1. There is 4, there is 8. You will take a carry from here. It will be 14. This will be 8. 14 and 8. You will get your 6. Okay, now there is 10. There is 9. There is 10, there is 9, so you will get your 1. Okay? There will be 9, there will be 2, it will be 7 here. There will be 2, after taking carry it is 12. 12 and 5, there is 7. 11 and 7. 4. 8 and 2. 8 and 6, it will be 2. 5 and 0. 5. 6 and 4, 2. Like this you can do the subtraction. Okay? So student, this was about your question number first. Now we will solve question number second, which is find the difference between. Right? Question number B, which is find the difference between. Find the difference between. Where question number first is, there all the questions are related to find the difference between. We can take any example from this because we have to solve the questions from subtraction. Okay, so straight, we are doing find the difference between. Find the difference and the mean of difference is subtraction. Okay, so if we are going to find the difference between two numbers, first of all we will write the bigger number. So which is the bigger number here? You will see this number is bigger. So first of all we will write this number 2785903. Then with the sign of addition we will write the next number. Now do the subtraction. You will see there is 3, there is 4. We will take a carry 13 and 4. 9. There is again 9, so 7 it will be 2. 8 and 3 it will be 5. Now again take a carry, it will be 15, it will be 9. There will be 6. 17 and 8, 9. 6 and 5, 1, there will be 2. Like this you can do find the difference between. Okay. So student, in your homework you have to solve question number A and B of exercise 3D A, page number 29. So student, this is all about today. We will continue this exercise and this chapter in our next class. Till then, complete your work, complete question number A and B in your book and notebook. Thank you to all for attending today's class.
A very good morning to the students and everyone who are watching this video. I am your teacher from Shivaji Group of Institutions. They are welcome you all in the online classes. Students, this is your third period and I am going to start the exercise or written work of your chapter number 2, that is human skeletal system. Human skeletal system. As we know that we have completed this chapter in the previous videos. So now, before starting the exercise or written work, let us recall this chapter. Okay. In this chapter, we have studied about the skeletal system, that how the skeletal system is made up of. Our skeletal system is made up of 206 bones, and it helps us to move, sit, stand, bend. Without the help of bones, we can't sit, we can't move, we can't stand. So it is very necessary, and skeletal system provides shape to the body, and it protects the internal organs of our body too. And to move different body parts with the help of muscles, means bones cannot, bones itself cannot move, and it can move with the help of muscles. Okay, so our skeletal system consists of a skull, arm bone, backbone, ribs, toe bone, thigh bone, girdles. Okay, so these all helps to make our skeletal system. Taken this 206 bones in an adult skeletal system. And as we know that a skeletal system is made up of bones, and if bones are attached, means if two or more bones attached at a point, they are known as joints and bones. Okay? Bone. In this chapter, we have talked about the skull bone, the backbone, the ribs, and the limbs, means hand or backbone. In the skull, we know that the skull is made up of many bones. It encloses and protects our brain. In the face bone or in the skull, only lower jaw is movable, otherwise all the bones that are in the skull are fixed. Second one, backbone. The backbone is also known as vertebral column, and it is made up of 33 small bones and called vertebra, and it is because of these bones we can bend or twist in others direction. Okay, the backbone protects our spinal cord. Third one, the rib cage. Ribs. Rib cage are long and curved bones that are attached to the back side of the backbone. There are 12 pairs of ribs like forms a structure called rib cage, and they protects our heart, our lungs. Okay, the internal organ called lungs and heart. It is separated out by the stomach with the help of muscles called diaphragm, and the diaphragm and the muscle between the ribs expands and relax in the process of breathing. The next one, hand and leg bones. The hand bones are called upper limbs, means called the forelimbs, and the lower bone are called the lower limbs, means hind limbs. Okay. Next was joints. As we know that where two or more bones meet are called the place where two or more bones meet called joints. And there are four types of joints: ball and socket joint, hinge joint, pivot joint, and gliding joints. Okay. And then the muscles in our body, as we know that bones can't move itself, so there is a muscles which helps the bone to move in the directions. Okay. There are three types of muscles: voluntary, involuntary, and cardiac muscles. The important point that is, muscles are attached to the bones by a strong fiber called tendons, and tendons means muscle to bone, and bone to bone by a strong fiber called ligament. Okay? So, after this, kinds of muscles: voluntary, that works on our will, means bone of an arm, bone of a leg. Okay? And involuntary, that didn't work on our will, means the heart muscles, means the working of lung, muscles that are present in the food pipe, the muscles that are present in the stomach. Okay? Cardiac muscle are also known as heart muscle, as this works as an involuntary muscle. Okay? So next, care of bones and muscles means you have to do yoga and exercise for keeping your muscles strong. Okay? And good postures are the position of the body when we sit, stand, and walk. Okay, students. So let's come to the page number 29 for your exercise. Okay. So students, I am writing the answers in the board, and you have to write the means you have to fill in your book first. No need to write down in your notebook. First of all, you have to complete your book, then you have to write down in your notebook. So students, in page number 29, the first exercise is take the correct answers. Exercise A. First one, hip and shoulder joints are examples of option A, hinge joint, option B, ball and socket joint, option C, gliding joint, option D, pivot joint. And the correct answer is second one. Muscles are attached to the bones by a strong fiber called option A, tendons, option B, ligaments, option C, ribs, option B, option D, joints. And the correct answer is tendons. Okay. Third one, movements of the human body are produced by the contraction and relaxation of option A, joints, option B, nerves, option C, bones, option D, muscles. And the correct answer is muscles. Fourth one, another name of backbone is option A, skeleton, option B, vertebral column, option C, joint, option D, ligaments. And the correct answer is vertebral column. Fifth one, a place where two or more bones meet is called option A, joint, option B, ribs, option C, skeleton, option D, tendons. And the correct answer is joints. Okay? So students, we have completed the exercise A. Now come to exercise B. Fill in the blanks. Exercise B. Okay. First one, the dash covers and protects the brain. Here you have to fill skull. Skull helps to cover and protects the brain. Second one, the dash protects the spinal cord. You have to fill vertebra. Vertebra helps to protect the spinal cord. Third one, bones are held together by a strong tissue called dash. You have to fill ligaments here. Okay. Fourth one, a dash joint allows the movement of head from side to side. And you have to fill pivot here. Fifth one, we have dash kinds of muscles in our body. So you have to fill 3. We have 3 kinds of muscles in our body. So students, we have completed up to exercise B, and rest of the exercise we will do in the next video. So students, write up your homework. Learn keywords of chapter number 7 and find out the exercise given in page number 28. Above the keywords, you have to do this exercise, okay? Means true or false. So students, that's all for today. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Hello students, I am your computer teacher from Shivaji Group of Institution. Students, in previous class I told you about Hello students, I am your computer teacher from Shivaji Group of Institution. In previous class, I told you some point about second chapter, and today I will tell you about this chapter further. So students, today's our first heading is functions of an operating system. Listen second. Functions of an operating system. Number first is it controls all the application software running on a computer. It controls all the application software running on a computer. It means operating system controls all the application software running on a computer. All the applications like Microsoft Word, Photoshop, CorelDRAW, web browsers, media players, and etc. All the application software controls via operating system. It means ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम जितने भी हम एप्लीकेशन सॉफ्टवेयर यूज करते हैं उन सारे एप्लीकेशनों को कंट्रोल करते हैं. सेकंड पॉइंट इज इट असाइंस द हार्डवेयर. इट असाइंस द हार्डवेयर टू needed to perform ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम कार्य करने के लिए हमें हार्डवेयर प्रदान करते हैं या प्रोवाइड कराते हैं। नंबर थर्ड, it allocates the memory. It allocates the memory required for each task. Required for each task. It allocates the memory required for each task. Operating system allocates the memory required for each task. It means किसी भी कार्य को करने के लिए ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम हमें मेमोरी को प्रदान करते हैं, यानी कि डिवाइड करके हर एक कार्य के लिए ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम हमें मेमोरी प्रदान करता है। Fourth, it helps in the creation. It helps in the creation and deletion of files and folder. Files and folder. It helps in the creation and deletion of the files and the folder. Operating system helps in the creation and deletion of the file and folder. It means operating system हमें folders create करने और delete करने में भी मदद करता है। I repeat again. Number first, it controls all the application software running on a computer. Operating system controls all the applications like Microsoft Office, web browsers, media players, Photoshop, CorelDRAW, Paint software, calculator software, and so on, running on a computer. Number second, it assigns the hardware needed to perform a task. Operating system assigns the hardware needed to perform a task. Operating system हमें हार्डवेयर प्रदान करता है वर्क करने के लिए. Third, it allocates the memory required for each task. It allocates the memory, ये हमें मेमोरी प्रदान करता है हर तरह के कार्य को करने के लिए. Required for each task, जितने भी एक काम को कंप्लीट करने के लिए मेमोरी की जरूरत पड़ती है वो हमें ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम प्रोवाइड करता है. Number 4, it helps in the creation and deletion of the files and the folder. Operating systems helps in the creation and deletion of the file and folder. Operating system files को create करने and delete करने में भी हमारी मदद करता है. Number 5, it manages the data stored in the memory. It manages the data stored in a memory. It manages the data stored in a memory. Operating system manages the data that we store in a memory. It means operating system जो भी डेटा हम मेमोरी में स्टोर करते हैं उसे वो मैनेज करता है. Number 6, it keeps track of processes that the computer performs. The computer It keeps track of the process that the computer perform. Processes. It keeps track of the processes that the computer perform. Operating system keeps the track of processes that the computer perform. It means operating system of the कंप्यूटर जो भी प्रोसेस करता है उसे वो ट्रैक करता है कि किस तरह वो वर्क कर रहा है और कैसे वर्क कर रहा है. परफॉर्म. I repeat again. Number 5. It manages the data stored in a memory. Operating system manages all the data that stored in a memory. 6. It keeps track of processes that the computer perform. Now student, our next heading is device driver. Device driver. Devices such as printers, speakers, hard disk drives, CD, DVD drives, digital cameras, and image scanners require device driver to work. Device drivers such as printer, speaker, hard disk drive, CD, DVD, digital cameras, and image scanners require device driver to work. If you want to use the printer, speaker, hard disk, CD, DVD, scanners, then you have to want device drivers to work. A device driver is a software used to control and manage an external device. Our device driver is a software that we use to control and manage the external devices that we connect on the computer. Our device driver takes command from the operating system and passes them on the external devices. Our device drivers takes command from the operating system and passes to the external devices. It means डिवाइसेस जैसे स्पीकर, प्रिंटर, हार्ड डिस्क ड्राइव, सीडी, डीवीडी, इमेज स्कैनर जिससे हम इमेज को स्कैन करते हैं, प्रिंटर जिससे प्रिंट करते हैं, इन सारे चीजों को डिवाइस ड्राइवर की नीड होती है वर्क को करने के लिए. बिना डिवाइस ड्राइवर के ये सारे पार्ट्स हमारे वर्क नहीं कर सकते हैं. और डिवाइस ड्राइवर इज अ सॉफ्टवेयर. डिवाइस ड्राइवर के व्हाट इज डिवाइस ड्राइवर? डिवाइस ड्राइवर इज अ सॉफ्टवेयर used to control and manage external devices. जिसका यूज हम एक्सटर्नल डिवाइसेस जो हम कंप्यूटर पे एक्सटर्नल अलग से लगाते हैं उनको मैनेज एंड कंट्रोल करने के लिए यूज किया जाता है. और डिवाइस ड्राइवर टेक्स कमांड फ्रॉम द ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. डिवाइस ड्राइवर ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम से कमांड्स को लेता है और एक्सटर्नल डिवाइस में से पास करता है. जितने भी हम एक्सटर्नल डिवाइस लगाते हैं लाइक सीडी, डीवीडी, hard disk, printer, speaker, scanners, etc. So students, that's all for today, and today your homework is learn, sort,